give it a name, and that will definitely go into Babyland. And what I'm looking at is space, okay? So I probably will never get a name. There'll be it won't be a provisional or the paper like it has to be like 22 weeks before I get all that big paper, but it'll have some kind of form paper with it. So I'm thinking either a wall or something, but or just flat markers, because there's going to be no names. But I'm trying to work on, as I'm doing this cremation, an area I can do that, because I'm not going to take up a whole baby lot for something that's
They put a vault into that?
huh? Yeah, you would like that. No, you probably want above ground stones where we can stick them in. The little.
That's right.
Yeah, I got you. No. Don't know. This is all new. They just did it. I'm a total believer in this. This came about because they found a bunch of them in an attic, and the person, well, there was no law. Well, the person that was performing them would just put them up in in the attics and what was left in a jar or whatever. And they came in and remodeled and found hundreds of these.
So didn't they find them in 2 different places?
Yep, it was 2 different.
Same doctor or something like that?
Yep. Totally, I mean, sad to say, in our laws, it was legal. I mean, there was no, but they put their foot down and said it would be up to them to pay to have it buried or cremated. So that, which I believe is still a child, will be laid to rest, but it's going to be numbers. So that'll come up later. I just wanted to throw that in as I was designing this cremation. I was kind of working on an area. I have to be very, I would say, politically correct on how I mark that, because we were asked a long time to do one for unwed mothers, and we couldn't do it. And actually, Sacred Heart, I believe, did it. So something will be done. We have to honor them if they've gone to this steps. I want to make sure. But that, I guess, will be some meetings with funeral homes, and I'm in contact with some cemeteries because they're calling me because I'm bigger and say, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm going to treat it as a baby right now. That's if I get one." I don't know how big in this town. I'm sorry, I don't follow that.
Right.
But we're going to prepare to deal with it however it comes. If it becomes large volumes, we'll set an area. So sorry, I just wanted to throw that in because I was in the designing process. Wood giveaway, since Alaska's put it in the ink-free, we're getting some, not a lot. So there was another 7 loads. I believe we had 8 last month. We're still cutting quite a bit of wood, trying to clean up the back field. So you understand, Chris, is anybody in need can go to Combined Community Service and get a voucher and come get a split truckload of wood a month from us to heat their homes.
Okay.
We just do it as a free service.
And in terms of getting the word out for that, is it just, but you just mentioned ink free, are there other means?
Well, we've been doing it. We've been doing it for a long time, and it kind of fell off. And Alaska's was gracious to put it in her ink-free, and it did spark some interest, and we're helping some families, I'm guessing, that didn't know about it.
Gotcha.
Our regulars and stuff, we still have a few. We don't see them as much, and I still would think they were coming. I know it hasn't been near as cold, but
Right.
I mean, we usually give out anywhere from 30 to 50 loads, and we're not anywhere close to that right now. But we still have abundance of wood. We're still okay. They're coming. My guys and people, and yours as well, they do not have to go through Combined Community Service. Like if you would call me and know that family needs, bring them to me. I don't have time to decide who needs it, who doesn't.
Sure.
That's why we go to Combined Community Service. Some of my workers know, and they'll come and we'll give a load. Have one guy that came in the other day, and it's not that he isn't able to do it. He's a worker, not big income is my guess, but where he cuts is underwater. And I'm like, come on. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole idea. That's why we do it, to give heat to their homes. So that's what that is. So you'll see good wood giveaway in there that we run through the winter. Other than that, was there anything in little business? Yeah, we talked about the cleats in the news business last time. They are done. What the cleats are basically is out of 2x4 tube steel is kind of the design. And we have massive cleats that go down through it. We've made 2. They're like shoes for a track hoe. What happens in this kind of weather, you have the blade in front of you can use, but it still moves. And we dig like second grades, and we come close to stones, and we try to anchor. And these are basic cleats you drive up on. They drive in the ground, you sit. And the worst is if you're digging sideways because your track wants to move, but you can lift up and slide these under so you don't move. So we're just protecting land around it and the stones. So guy had an idea, I drew it up, my welder made him. So we haven't had to use them yet, but we're they're there, they're ready to go. That, I believe it's it on that. We talked about it's not in this one, the dump truck. Probably next week I will be getting with Lakeside, just get the chassis ordered for that. We will buy a chassis off of Lakeside. It'll be for a short bed. The shortest they make is 8 foot. All mine are 9 because I couldn't find 8 foot. W.A. Jones actually carries an 8 foot. We need some for the turning radius to get into some that we're doing. We were trying to do last year, it kind of fell through. They couldn't give me the chassis. Then, so you know, is to save us money, which is great. The street department's going to help me. Their mechanics wants to put it together, so I will buy the bed and the hydraulics and everything off of W.A. Jones. The street will assemble it for me, and it'll save me probably $2,000-3,000 by doing that. They want to do it. They help me out a lot, you know, Chris. And then he knows if he needs me, we're there. Yeah, it's really cool, which we'll talk more about what they're doing, because I've had them wastewater and street out at the cemetery the last couple of weeks. Not good. We'll go into new business. We are beginning the new road. That is also going to be put in by the street department. They're going to come and excavate it, help me get compaction, and then Jeff has been big since he's come to Warsaw, is big into asphalt. And he's been treating my roads and stuff, doing so much a year, and we've been doing asphalt. We have probably 20% of the old section to do, which will go around in your view. So he's going to lay the new asphalt for me. We tentatively have about $60,000 for that new road, which is fairly cheap. I don't think we'll hit 60, but with them doing it. But I just pay all the material, and he'll do it. And we come in and help and do whatever. We had, in this process, so you know, my great week, he wanted test holes. We were digging test holes to check what structure ground we have underneath it, so we can determine how deep we have to go with compaction. So I sent my guys on a Friday, thought a piece of cake, right? They're going all through that 1,500 feet. They get down by my house that I live on the south end, made a turn, hit a 2-inch water main that was only a little 2 foot down, and I didn't know it existed. It went back to the shop. So we had Niagara Falls out there in the afternoon. I was here, and they're like, "Can you get back to the shop? We got a bunch of water coming up." So the main, I had Pete Bazika, and $540 later, we got it fixed.
That's not too off the bed, then.
No, Pete works with me. I know Pete. Pete Bazika is the one that does all the city water lines, and he does Wabash, and I've known him forever. We had it dig prepped. He happened to be at Stone Camp. He goes, "Do we got to do any digging?" I'm like, "No, but it's all wide open. Got it all cleaned up." So they booked over and did it for me. He's very gracious about helping me out with that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's parts that you got to pay, and the labor, and got that. So that's really great. Got that. We thought we flushed the system. That was on a Friday. Tuesday come in, the guys go, "Man, that filter's kind of cloudy. I have a filter for drinking water back in the shop." So I thought, well, I'll put a new filter in. Took the filter out, put a new one in, turned it on, solid brown coming out of the pipes. Took the filter out and ran water, and I knew what was coming next. All of a sudden, the gravel. So I haven't got my plumbing bill. They had to get my stool running again, my sink running again, and my wash sink running again. It was just full of stones and whatnot, so I'm not sure what that is. So we had more mess. If it had been summer, I could have flushed it outside, but I can't turn on the outside ones yet. So anyway, oh, that's that part, and then I'll get on to the other one. I see where we're at. We'll come as in the next one. Number 2, back by the Lake Road, which you guys will know, you'll know where the rugged cross is one of my main drains down in the lower area. I started out with about a 12-inch sinkhole. So I called wastewater before I cut it out and packed it. I said, "Would you come shoot the line to make sure it hadn't collapsed?" I hate being right. It's the old butt clay tile. Yeah, look at Jerry smile back in his era, and it wasn't the bell, but they're just put together. So they started shooting it, and you had, here's this clay tile, and then all of a sudden you had clay tile here, which is dirt on top. Okay, so about 30 feet in. So we've got it temporary patched right now, but I'm going to have to look at boring a new line to get under all the vaults and out the back, because it's my main drain. So that's another great project that was going on while we were fixing water lines. So not real good week at Oakwood Cemetery. But anyway, that will get done. I don't know the price. I'll let you know when I do. 3, of course, was the 2-inch repair that we did. Part of our winter process that we go through every year is cleaning, maintaining, fixing. Out there in that cemetery, there's 80+ trash cans. They're all taken up, clean, scrape, replace boards, metal, scrape, clean, whatever. and then new liners if they needed, and we finally completed that, so that task is done. And then we've already repainted all the benches and everything too, besides that. So that's done. And then basically, the last thing I have is just we're cleaning and getting ready for spring. So you know the weather like it is, we've actually been out blowing leaves. Still, the rest of the oaks have shredded, and we're blowing leaves and picking them up, and we've taken, I think, 6 dump truck loads out this week, back to be mulched. So we still have some more to go, but it's been a weird winter, but I'm not complaining.
They said it was supposed to be harsh, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, no, that'll be in July. That'll be in July. It'll warm it. In July, we'll have 18 inches of snow. Other than that, the guys are doing well. I'm full staffed. We're looking to see if my part-time will come back. It's always a question and how that is. My 2 school teachers will probably be back. But other than that, we're ahead of the game. We're currently on outside. My guess is we'll probably still be around 60 graves to fix come spring. First part of the year, it's pretty tough. We got that each grave takes 8 strips of sod. We have a sod farm back there we cut. So they will have to prep, put in, there'll be like 60 of them, so to do, along with all the other stuff. But we're catching up on equipment stuff. As you know, I don't have a mechanic anymore. The street mechanics are very gracious to take care of us. They'll either come there and do maintenance, or we take it to them. So we all work together, which is really cool. So other than that, Mr. President, I do not have anything else unless you have some stuff for me or any questions. For you, Chris, on the back, if you go through that, is the finance part of it?
Right.
Month to month, so you know if you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, just read it.
If I have any questions, I'll
Yeah,
follow up.
Yeah, or call me or whatever, but if you have anything tonight, I'm sorry, sometimes I talk a little quick, but February is usually a big month for funerals. Right now, I think we're currently just sitting on 10 this month, so it's not been overly bad, which it figures it's not cold enough. It's got to be freezing cold for us. 3 years ago, I think we had 20-some inches of frost, and I did 31 in the month of February.
Well, I thought it was quite cold today.
Yeah, oh, no, this wasn't bad. I mean, I'm not complaining. If this is all with the winter. I mean,
This is winter, I'll be all right.
yeah, I mean, this could be, we could have this stuff in November. I think that's why the kids are doing this e-learning stuff. They start delaying, and we got a ½ inch of snow. I'm like, if this so we had snow since November, we go, it's just another snow. But anyway, so I have nothing else, sir.
Ellen, do you have anything?
I do not. Chris?
Can we just circle back, if it's all right?
Sure.
To these nameless that you mentioned?
Oh, huh? Mm-hmm.
How much of that is a hypothetical? How much of that is an upcoming certainty?
The law was passed.
Okay.
I have a copy at my desk. They passed the law. It's mandatory now to be, they have, whoever either does it or the family has to take ownership of having it either cremated or buried.
Okay. I just feel strongly that in this community will not let those children remain nameless. And I think that's an opportunity for us to bring awareness. Awareness is awareness. I shouldn't use the term awareness. However, I do believe that this is an opportunity in terms of things that ideas.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that our community will definitely rally around to make sure that those children are remembered.
Yeah, and the problem is the nameless part, and I always say, this is all new. This is a bunch of cemetery sextons beating around. Nobody really knows the answer because the lady that chose to do this doesn't want anything to do with it anyway. So I don't think by name we'll be able to name. It won't be all right. But we're going to identify them in some way.
Right,
Yes.
and that's something I just.
If it's baby 1 through 100, somehow we're going to, because we will not have much paperwork on it. There'll be a little, but once again, the paperwork will not be, and we may, I don't know if it'll have a tag number, I don't know what, and that may be what's on there. And the only thing we can do, but as far as names, I don't think we'll be able to, because one of the cemetery sections, well, we'll just give them a name. I'm like, I don't think legally we can. I don't know where that stands. Like I say, this is all new ground. I just kind of want to bring it up because you may be hearing about it. Like I say, I've just been notified, and we've been kicking around the last couple of weeks since they found this law and that it's in effect since they found all those things. So,
Do we have any doctors around here that do that?
I don't know. That's what they asked me because it's a pleasure they do. A lot of the smaller cemeteries will come to me because I'm the big one. Doesn't mean I know any more than they do as far as this stuff because I'm not notified except through funeral homes or whatever. And I flat out told him in the email, I evidently have blinders on. I don't know if Warsaw has that issue. You guys may know more than I do. I don't know, but I have to prepare for it. Follow me, just to be, and that's kind of what all us cemetery sexes are doing. How do we handle? Because one guy's, do we put in Babyland? I went, yep. He goes, really? I'm like, if you have no other place. But then we talked about, we worry about space, property, stuff like that, because I mean, you have a baby grave that you can go up to 5 feet. You know how many of those I can put in that 5 feet? If I just designate one for 5 feet, land, we don't make no more land, you know what I mean, I'll run out. So that's kind of what we're kicking around. But everyone that we've emailed back and forth, we're all like, we need to do something. We don't want them forgotten. I mean, we don't believe anybody's going to come visit unless the mother would turn heart and actually know that number. See, there's a lot of unknowns here. That's why I say, and you're welcome. It's all your questions are coming up, and we don't have the answers. All we know is,
Understood.
yeah, the only legal part of it is that they have to be responsible and taken care of. That's the only legal part.
So there's nothing in your bylaws or anything that states that a burial has to have a person with a name? So there's really nothing stating that there has to be a monument either?
No, we don't require, we don't,
Okay.
see, when people come
I know
out,
some cemeteries, you get to some cemeteries, I'm not talking around here, but you get to some cemeteries, they require that a burial has a monument, that it has a...
correct, in the Oakwood Cemetery, there is no rule that says you have to have a monument. I still have plates back in the 1930s. They temp plates. All funeral home gives temps. John's are the nice, I won't say nicer ones, are the more sturdy ones. They're flat and they hold together. And I still have some of those. And honestly, there's some in Babyland parents can't afford. And so John lets me keep some of those because we take the temps and he recycles them once they get a stone. And he allows me to keep some of them, so if baby John Doe's goes bad, I can make a new one and stick it in there. So it still looks, because there'll never be a stone. But no, we do not require stones. That's totally their option. Because I'll be honest with you, the time we get them is not the time, and they worry about that. And I said, you have plenty of time, there's no requirements. And I let them put patio blocks out there until hand so they can honor their loved ones, so we're not tearing it up as we whack and mow. And we're very lenient in that stuff, so especially babies. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I mean, look at the young man with the Lego. I would love to get that Lego man, but I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Oh, that's a done deal.
Is it a done deal?
That's paid for, that's no
Well,
problem.
thanks for telling me. I appreciate it. That's okay. We're going to have the young man, or young boy that got killed out Eisenhower. Is that where it was? Got hit?
Gideon?
Gideon, yeah. They have put together, and we've okayed a stone in the back. He's in the back row, and it's going to be a full Lego man. Great.
It's gonna be pretty nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're opening up, the board previous to you has opened up, if we can go back row, for some reason I'm getting where people want bigger stones. And two things, I want them to have it and not take it out of their pocket, because we're restricted front row. You can't, because I got to dig over that. So the board has allowed me to okay going bigger in the back row. Because we have this one, and then I have another one that, which is Mr. Titus that passed away, the young man that, I'm sorry, I forget his first name, Jerry's son, that passed away. They want to do a bronze boot, something, whatever.
Oh.
So they asked me, I'm like, yeah, where it's at, it's totally fine. And I'm okay with that. So it's nice to be able to do that. Just here in the last few years, like you maybe noticed, they just want to go bigger and
Taller.
Yep. More tablet space. And I don't want to restrict that if I don't have to. But they want front row, and that's where we have trouble. And yeah, look at him laugh. Yeah, I already got you out of one pit.
Oh, we've been bit by that, yeah.
Yeah, you've been bit a couple times by it. But they understand. When I explain to them that I'm going to take a very, very expensive stone and take a tool and go and pull it off and put it somewhere so I can dig, and then I'll stick it back on, and then I got to do it again when the other person comes. They're like, oh, maybe we ought to go back out. Yeah, it's kind of easy to sell on my end. But anyway, so that's, yeah, I have no law that says stone. But I just kind of, in my heart, and so does these other cemetery sections, that they need to be labeled somehow. We don't want to forget them. So, right or wrong, we may be told different. It's just all new right now. So I guess the cool thing on my end is past. not stuck in I think one they found, Jerry, wasn't in a basement, and the other one was in an attic, I believe.
Yeah, and I thought they found some in the trunk of a guy's car.
Could be, I don't know.
I
But,
mean, it was, you know, the guy was sick, I think.
Yeah.
Doing all
but
this.
you understand too, if for some reason they have to, we're gonna treat it just like a baby, because that family's gonna come and we're gonna have closure and have a spot, and if I have to give up a full lot, I give up a full lot. So you understand too, they allow me, the city allows me, if it's a young family with a baby or something that has no money, the only thing I charge to bury a baby, so you know, is the lot. The opening is free, and we mount the stone for free. Once they give it, we case it in concrete, put it in. If they can't afford that lot, City of Warsaw owns the lot. Talking max of $70. So if the funeral homes come and say, like, it's a young couple, we don't have, no problem, we're gonna honor that baby and take care of it, so. Sorry, any other questions? I don't wanna.
Nobody else?
No,
Motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
All right, motion to adjourn.
For the 5th.
Fifth, smile, ask us, it's over. You're my trooper, man, it's great.
You know, I got to be sure, come to see here for
Oh, yeah, I need to turn that off tonight, I'm sorry.